Good evening. Welcome to the Asian Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the class of 2020. I'm Frank Buckley. I anchor the KTLA 5 Morning News in Los Angeles. I'm delighted to be your master of ceremonies tonight. Thank you for joining us from Los Angeles, Pasadena, and Orange County, from Las Vegas, San Francisco, Honolulu, New York City, and the greater Seattle area. Guests are also tuning in from Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, China, Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. Welcome to all of you. For the past 16 years, the Asian Hall of Fame was a one-night awards show in Seattle. It was directed by the sixth-generation Robert Chin Foundation, one of the first Asian family philanthropies in America. But COVID-19 made the Asian Hall of Fame look beyond Seattle. Public demand for social justice made the Asian Hall of Fame broaden its impact, and anti-Asian hate crimes inspired the Asian Hall of Fame to elevate its high-profile leaders to make a high-impact difference. Tonight, for the very first time, the Asian Hall of Fame is a new public charity. It is launching a new season, a full year of virtual events. It is also expanding its reach with a new Asian Hall of Fame California. Fundraising will provide arts grants to survivors of trauma, war, and human trafficking, and an endowment for a state-of-the-art Asian Hall of Fame Center. Thank you for being part of tonight's historic evening, and welcome to the Asian Hall of Fame opening night ceremony for the class of 2020.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining our season opening ceremony tonight. I also want to say a wonderful congratulations to our Hall of Fame founder, Karen Wong, for her 60th wedding anniversary and her daughter Letitia Fong's 30th anniversary. Congratulations, Karen. I know that you have many, many more wonderful years to come. And, you know, this virtual event, this virtual celebration brings me back to a time when we actually used to do this in person. And I know that feels like a very long time ago. And I had the pleasure and honor of being inducted into the Asian Hall of Fame in Seattle. And just the excitement and energy around people coming together, I miss it dearly. But as with anything, we have to adapt, we have to pivot, we have to reinvent the ways that we can interact with each other. And thus, I think we are always doing that. Raising Asian excellence during these really challenging times is a very important part of why these types of events need to exist, and promoting all of our community members and people who've been able to contribute to society, to show that there's another path, to show and give inspiration and motivation to so many who watch, young and older. And our next inductee is someone who I know very well, Cheryl Burke. I met Cheryl when I was on Dancing with the Stars, and this was almost 13 to 14 years ago. And you know, when I met Cheryl, she was probably one of the few non-Eastern European dancers from the Ukraine or from Russia, or who had spent a tremendous time in Eastern Europe. And Cheryl, with her multiracial background, she reminded me of someone like myself. And to know that she was able to stand there, to have incredible displays of artistry and creation, and her ability to also dance in front of tens and if not hundreds of millions of people around the world, and made television history as the first Asian American dance icon on national broadcast. Her dance move has been actually televised to more than 310 million viewers. She's been a role model for women and girls around the world, raised awareness for Dress for Success and many other philanthropic causes. And she is the first dance icon to be inducted into the Asian Hall of Fame. I am honored to present the Asian Hall of Fame class of 2020 inductee and my friend, Cheryl Burke.
Dancing's always been a way to express myself and my body, and I've always was a really, really shy little girl growing up. You would put a camera in front of my face, I couldn't talk. I am just living proof that any woman who has been abused can move on from that and become a powerful and courageous woman as I have been. I think because of dancing, it's the only way that I can communicate. That's the only way I've been able to communicate is through my body, through movement. It's the one place where I feel confident.
I can't thank you all enough for this incredible honor, especially to Karen Wong and the Asian Hall of Fame Board of Governors. It is so important to me as a Filipino American to celebrate my culture and be open and proud about it publicly, because when I was growing up, I didn't have many people who looked like me to look up to in the industry, especially in the ballroom world. I was definitely a rarity when it came to my heritage. Competing on Dancing with the Stars for the past 15 years, it's been one of my greatest joys to have young Asian American girls and their parents tell me that they started dancing because they saw me on TV. I hope I can continue to be a positive representation of my Asian heritage, and I want to thank you all again for including me.
It is an honor for me to introduce tonight's iconic artists and headliners, Robby Krieger and Maki. Robby Krieger is a legend in music. He's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame guitarist for a band you may have heard of, The Doors. He wrote many of their hit songs, including Light My Fire. If you're like me, I turn up the volume every time it comes on the radio. And if anyone wants to hear a terrible karaoke version of it, give me a call. Maki is a 13-language soprano and violinist who has performed in major televised events such as America's Got Talent. Maki and Robby started collaborating when the Robert Chin Foundation and Asian Hall of Fame asked them to donate a COVID-19 relief concert and charity music album. Their charity album, Seasonal Songbook, is out now on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon. All album sales are donated to the Foundation's Trauma Survivors Program. Please welcome Maki featuring Robby Krieger of The Doors.
Morimoto aspired to be a professional baseball player. He grew up a big fan of his hometown team, the Hiroshima Carps, and played ball in high school. He was a catcher and apparently pretty talented. He almost went pro before he suffered a broken shoulder that ended his career and eventually shifted his focus to the culinary world.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Masaharu Morimoto. So I'm taping message here in New York, in my kitchen, my office. Actually, I have been here in this country since 1985, more than 30 years. But okay, I want to thank you, the Asian Hall of Fame, for its mission to recognize Asian chef like myself and everyone else who was honored here. When I was young, I had two major big dreams. So when I was little, okay? So I want to be a professional baseball player and then professional sushi chef. So because my hometown has the professional baseball team called Hiroshima Carps. And then when injured my shoulder, I realized that my dream of being a professional baseball player was over. So I began studying sushi in my hometown of Hiroshima and quickly fell in love with the technique of the sushi world, of the food and the arts. I opened my first restaurant when I was 24 years old. So that's right after I got married with my wife. I was married in 1979. Today, I have more than 15 around the world, with many more in the planning stages. I have been a chef for over 40 years, and I continue to discover for so many amazing new foods, techniques, and the people throughout this journey I've been on. Thank you to the Asian Hall of Fame for this honor. To my team that support me in my restaurants around the world, my friends and the family and all the chefs that continue to inspire me along the way. Thank you very much. ありがとうございました。頑張りました。
James Hong is originally from Minneapolis and calls Los Angeles his home. He has more than 600 credits in theater, film, and television, making him one of the most prolific English-speaking actors of all time. You remember his famous line as Mr. Ping in Kung Fu Panda? "We are noodle folk, broth runs through our veins." The man behind Mr. Ping and too many memorable characters to count, James Hong is 91 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege to present to all of you the Asian Hall of Fame Lifetime Achievement Award inductee, James Hong.
My name is James Hong. I've been acting over 66 years. I can name a few roles that people can recognize me in. Blade Runner, Seinfeld, Wayne's World 2, R.I.P.D., Big Bang Theory, Mr. Ping in Kung Fu Panda.
Paul, what are you doing upstairs, Paul?
And how can I forget Mulan Chifu?
Who stole my slippers? Everybody in this family has to fight for the emperor now.
However, when I started here in Hollywood, Asian Americans had no identity. We're just thrown into the category of the Chinese or the Japanese actors. I felt that we have to do something to change things. I ended up in the early career mostly playing laundryman or persecuted Chinaman by the whites and always being rescued. We were never the mainstream people. Even though I was cast in those cliche roles, I did the best as an actor to overcome the cliche-ness. I took those roles and then put the real feelings, even if it's a villain, like Big Trouble in Little China.
You never could beat me yet, kid.
In those early days, there were never any leading roles for Asians. It was back in 1962 I started to realize that we had to do something. I got together 10 people who were interested in studying acting, and then we formally formed the East-West Players for Asian American writers, directors, actors to showcase works by Asians. I think it's extremely important to have a good image on the screen. The young people get influenced by the image that they see. Asians are beginning to do their own plays and TV series and movies. So it's only a matter of time American Asians will move forward.
Otherwise, I will have both of you roll off to the hell where people are skinned alive. It's that simple, understand? I don't want any disturbances. This is serious.
Really appreciate it.
Oh, what is your name?
No, I want to eat now.
Yes, whole sea bass dinner tonight. Very fresh.
Take the cricket from my hand. Who the hell's a take the cricket from my hand? I just put it back. That is my lucky cricket.
Asian Hall of Fame, James Hong,
Inductee. But I'm told by Maki that I'm the first one to receive the award for the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes,
right?
that's
what
correct.
this
Yes.
is for. Well, as I say, I am 91, and it's about time. Because if you wait too much longer, who knows what will happen. But I'm still very active. Obviously, I can shake hands and play basketball, do anything you want me to, But this is wonderful. What a beautiful prize. To see the dragon inlaid gold and my name on the bottom. It is a wonderful, and it's very heavy. Well, thank everybody in the organization for this, okay? I've got here after 600 credits, and my soul and heart just wants to do more for the Asian Americans. Yeah, and I'm so glad there are movies out there now that like the Crazy Witch and Asians and other movies that have, can you name that other one? Farewell, and that Korean movie that won the Academy Award. Parasite, wonderful movie. So you see how important it is to express yourself. With the film world, if you come out with a good film, you're thinking that the whole world is going to look at it. That Parasite probably been viewed by, who knows, maybe 100 million people or more. And it's gotten recognition through the Academy Award people. So it's just coming. After these 67 years of being here in Hollywood and trying, things are just starting to get improved. And they'll improve more and more as China, and India, Korea, Japan rise up and boost the image of the Asian Americans. And then we people here in America will be recognized as the principal people in the American walk of life. And that's important. You can't just earn money and forget your image and your spirit and your soul. You are citizens of the America, and it is important. So try your best to do something. I just keep thinking of what to do, and I do it. And I encourage you people to do the same thing. Each one of you are created for a purpose in life, and you have to find out what that purpose is. Don't waste anything, okay? Thank you. Why we have to voice our opinion. We can't be the silent minority. The blacks have voiced their opinion and feelings and have gotten much further than the Asian Americans. Because why? We kind of like to stay low and mind our own business. I think that's a good trait in our culture.
Yeah.
Sort of just be gentle. But in this country, I'm afraid if you don't speak up, you're going to get nothing. So do your share and I'll be back with you, and so will the Asian Hall of Fame. Okay? Voice your opinion. You know, it's been a good life, very good life. And we've been married for how many years, Susan?
Oh, 41.
41 years. Wow. And I hear one of your members who is having a wedding anniversary or something.
Yes, the founder, Karen Wong, the
Oh,
60th
Karen Wong.
wedding anniversary.
Oh. Congratulations, and thank you for everything. And I hope you have many, many more anniversaries or celebrations of all kinds. Next time, we'll hold this venture in a big hotel, and everybody can come and we'll feast and dance and just have a good time. So thank you again for this award, and I'm going out to Hollywood and do something, you know, speak up for the Asian Americans, right?
evening, and welcome to the 2020 Asian Hall of Fame. My name is Letitia Fong, and I am the Assistant Treasurer of the Robert Chin Foundation. I'm so honored that you are here to celebrate my parents, Karen and David Wong, their 60th wedding anniversary, and my husband, Nathan Fong, and I, our 30th wedding anniversary. My parents have always been a role model, and it is a delight to be able to celebrate these milestone anniversaries with you here tonight. I hope that you enjoy the Asian Hall of Fame, where we honor Asians for their outstanding contributions. Tonight should be an evening of fun and music and joy and celebration. After the event tonight, I hope that you will visit our website at www.asianhalloffame.org and visit our celebrity auction. Our celebrity auction has many one-of-a-kind unique items, and all of the proceeds go to benefit our program Arts for All, which helps victims of human trafficking. I hope that you enjoy tonight's festivities, and thank you again for your support of the Asian Hall of Fame 2020. Have a great evening.
In 1947, the 49ers made history by signing Wally Yonamine, the first Asian American to play professional football. But Wally wasn't done breaking down barriers. He left football to play baseball in Japan, eventually becoming the first American inducted into the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame.
Wally took that toughness from his American football background, playing from the San Francisco 49ers and playing in the Pacific League.
Huge impact on Japanese baseball, and I think it's because Wally may be one of the first real two-sport men. So when he came over here, this guy wasn't a one-dimensional only baseball player. This guy was a rough, tough, you almost might say nasty football player.
When the bombings began, I was on the receiving end here in Tokyo. It was grim. Of course, Tokyo by that time was just a completely flattened out.
You know, the war had just ended. 99% of the people living here were 100% Japanese.
Well, I couldn't imagine. I mean, I couldn't imagine living in the 50s and 60s. So coming over here in the 50s and 60s, that's got to be incredible.
A lot of Japanese, didn't take kindly to someone that was, even though he had a Japanese appearance and a name, really they knew he was not Japanese.
So I know what it's like to be on a team where you feel different than everybody else.
Japanese people are a tight, fit group, and they're not just going to let anybody into their group, so you have to really earn their respect and work hard to get into it.
The first couple of years here, I was continuously asking myself why on a few things. I was totally shocked to hear a Thai ball game.
与那水さんね、当時日本に行かれた時はね、やはりアメリカでのそういう文化をね、で日本に行って、そういう中で育って日本に行ってね、でそういう違和感を感じたと思うんですよね。だからそういういい面をどんどん伝えてくださったと思いますよね、与那水さんはね。日本のファンの人にも、日本の他の選手の人たちにもね。
He was, and he may still be, before Ichiro, Japan's greatest leadoff hitter ever. He was, in many ways, the Giants' big star.
Some of the discriminatory things that he encountered being of Japanese descent, but being American born, and I got a tremendous amount of respect for what he achieved.
That Wally succeeded and did it is even more credit to him as a person than the credits that he's gotten on the baseball field.
But Wally is a pioneer. I mean, he's the type of guy that led the way for people like myself. I know all about him and knew his ethnic background from Hawaii. We talked a few times. He was good guidance to me as far as what to expect here in Japan. And
I wanted to give him 100% so that other Americans would have a chance to play here in Japan.
Wally was in uniform for 39 consecutive years. I believe he holds the Japanese record for being in uniform for consecutive years.
When I got inducted in the Japan Hall of Fame, it was really an honor for me because, a foreigner, I never thought that the media would vote me in. I was so happy because I didn't think that I'll make it, but and for me to get into the Japan Hall of Fame was really an honor for me. So when I got in, I was really happy to get in.
Set the standard or set the pace for all the others who followed. We've had about 700 foreign players have come and played in Japan since the end of the war, and he was number one. So you might say he's even like the Jackie Robinson of Japanese baseball.
On behalf of the Yonamine family, I'd like to thank the Asian Hall of Fame Committee for this wonderful honor to my father, Wally Yonamine. I'd also like to thank the James Reed family for nominating him. Growing up in Olawale, Maui, my father would have never imagined being honored like this. He loved all sports, and his life and career is evidence of this. In light of the racial unrest happening at this present time, this award is even more meaningful. Being the first Asian American to play professional football in the US, and then being the first American to play baseball in Japan just after the end of World War II was a double challenge. Feelings were still raw between the US and Japan. Wally endured many hardships and discrimination. His hope was to be accepted so that future American players would be able to follow in his footsteps. Being inducted into the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame and receiving the Emperor's Award for uniting Japan and America through baseball were his proudest accomplishments. Now with this award being acknowledged in America, it has come full circle for him. We thank you for honoring him. We wish he could have been here, but we know he is smiling down and is so very proud. Thank you.
Welcome back. Karen Wong is a fourth-generation member of the Chin family and serves as chairperson of the Robert Chin Foundation. She is also founder of the Asian Hall of Fame and president of the board. She is celebrating her 60th wedding anniversary this year with her husband David, whose relatives are tuning in from Orange County. Her daughter Letitia Fong also celebrating her 30th wedding anniversary with her husband Nathan. Please join me in welcoming President of the Asian Hall of Fame, Karen Wong.
Thank you for joining us tonight and for being part of the Asian Hall of Fame community. Asian Hall of Fame started 16 years ago with a question. 5 of us in Seattle asked each other, what is the most powerful way to elevate positive messages of Asian excellence? We asked this because we felt that many people, including Asians, would be transformed if they experienced our culture of excellent legacy and service. We felt that by celebrating excellence together, we would elevate high-impact leaders in high-profile places. Tonight, the Asian Hall of Fame is a new public charity with a new season. Our Robert Chin Foundation Board of Governors worked so hard over the years to come to this moment. Our collaborative projects in mainstream music, mobile gaming, and other high-impact programs will continue to develop as our vision intersects. Our board will continue to accelerate Asian excellence in areas that are lacking Asian representation, and will continue to award Asian Hall of Fame with a $250,000 grant. We hope that foundations, corporations, and donors, you will join us in our global movement and support our critical work during an historic time. Asian Hall of Fame is special because it was created for the community and by the community. It is special because it was sustained by the legacy of my father, Robert Chin, for the betterment of the community. Family is the reason why we work so hard to make this world a more equitable place. My brother Derek, my sister Valerie, our extended Chin and Wong families in Southern California are tuning in to celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary tonight. I am so proud of my daughter Letitia, and she and her husband Nathan are celebrating their 30th anniversary in their Zoom room today. My father Robert Chin and my mother Ruth could never have imagined how far this foundation has come. They would have been very proud of the family, the foundation, and of the accomplishments we have achieved together to make our society a more beautiful place. I wanted to thank you by sharing a few lines from a poem I wrote, and this comes from my heart. Your presence is gift enough for all much happiness and love. Many more celebrations will come. We will get together and have fun. Congratulations to David and Karen for a lifetime of sharing. Wedding bells continue to chime for a love that lasts forever in time. Thank you, everyone.
The last dragon. My name is Raya. I gotcha.
At this time, I am very pleased to present our next honoree into the class of 2020. Our next inductee was born on Christmas Day in San Francisco, California's Chinatown. He was raised in a humble home and loved music, even though he was an engineer and graduated in mechanical engineering. His love of music never left him, and he left his job to join a country rock band called Asian Wood. While drumming in the band, he discovered that the sound could be improved if the audio cable was engineered differently. He used his engineering skills to make a better cable, but banks would not fund him. His mother then took a loan on their house for him to establish his company, Monster. He overcame tremendous obstacles to develop over 6,000 different products and transform the audio cable industry. He is Grammy nominated for sound engineering, invented the technology for Beats headphones, is known as the Head Monster, and is beloved by celebrities such as Carlos Santana and George Benson. It is an honor for me to present our class of 2020 inductee, Noel Lee.
I started out as a first-generation Chinese. We had no money. My parents were very, very poor, but I always wanted to start my own business. So I took my passion in audiophile cable and sound, and I started this company called Monster Cable.
We're very grateful to be part of your family.
Think without limitation, to be able to use your own ability and your own ingenuity. Welcome to Monster Park.
I think that it's really incredible to be actually working with a company like Monster.
This is Donna De Cruz.
At the start of the 70th Monaco Grand Prix.
They saw the future. This is the future sound.
I'm powered by the Monster.
They already dominated in the music sound quality.
Incredible, Monster.
And it's about Monster power. It's happening.
It has built a global following by making its product into a premium name.
Action!
Doing a Super Bowl commercial is just amazing. You ain't seen nothing yet, kid. We're just getting started.
Hello, everybody. This is Noel Lee, sometimes known as the head monster of Monster Cable. I want to thank the Asian Hall of Fame for giving me this award, and it's really an honor to represent the Asian community, especially in the way of arts and culture and young people who tune in. And it's, when I think about the people who win awards, okay, so you don't see very many Asian awards, which is a shame, because Asians are extremely talented. And I think the Asian Hall of Fame allows for a venue where we can show other Asian talents and also encourage the community, because it's our community that we have something very, very special. And, Asian music, Asian arts is different from any other. Right? It's different than hip hop, different than rock and roll, and it is a special brand of music. It has a lot of passion in it, and I think it's important for people to understand where all that passion and that culture comes from. So I want to thank the board of directors and all the folks involved in getting me this award. I'm going to cherish it. I think it's fabulous that we're recognizing Asian Americans, and I'm especially proud to be able to represent this award as the award recipient. So thank you very much. And this is Noel Lee, the head monster, signing off. Thank you.
Welcome to the Asian Hall of Fame opening night ceremony. I remember when I was inducted into the Asian Hall of Fame just last year in Seattle. It was such an amazing experience. I first saw Masi Oka in the hit TV show Heroes, and I love seeing someone that actually looked like me and represented me. He's such an amazing artist. Masi started his career as a digital artist for Star Wars. He then crossed over into acting and appeared in television shows and films such as Hawaii Five-0 and, of course, Heroes. Last year, Masi's game company released the popular game Outer Wilds. He is the first digital artist, actor, and gamer to be inducted into the Asian Hall of Fame. I am honored to present Asian Hall of Fame Class of 2020, Masi Oka.
Time magazine as a kid, and it was titled like Whiz Kids.
There you are. You can see the little highlight. You're by the where it says Whiz Kids, where your thumb is kind of pointing.
But the point to this, I wasn't actually in the article. I was only on the cover, so I looked smart, but I wasn't really smart.
But I've read that your IQ is like 180.
Well, that's back in the days. I mean, it definitely deteriorates.
Oh my God, you're not owning your smartness. Stop it right now. You're just like G.
Yes.
You're smart.
Yo, Asia, yo.
She does the same thing. So it really is an Asian thing.
Oh my gosh, this is the stereotype. This really is
I'm
an
sorry,
Asian thing.
But you guys are living up to the stereotype because he's not owning his smartness and you don't either.
Okay, so I have to ask you, like, was it difficult for you? Did you almost give up on acting because there just aren't that many roles for Asian Americans?
Absolutely.
There really aren't.
There really aren't. I mean, it was great. It was easy to get some smaller roles, but there were no big roles for us. I mean, we had Long Duck Dong, and we had a short round from Fortune Cookies, Fortune, Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
I know, exactly.
No more parachutes. That's about it.
I mean,
No. I'm thinking of the one with Chris Tucker.
Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jackie Chan, yes.
Well, you're either a kung fu artist
I'm
or
not a kung fu. I don't look like a kung fu artist.
But you know what I mean? The actors are always playing, action, kung fu, but or scientists. I mean, do you ever think to yourself, man, I don't want to play another nerd?
No, but it's fun.
Hey, if a check is coming.
If the check's coming, if it's good, I'm doing it.
You were involved with during the prequels.
I was involved in the prequels as well. Yes.
Cool. What software were you making for them then?
Well, our main platform was Maya, so I wrote a lot of Maya plugins. A specific example might be like where Boba Fett chases in the asteroid sequence. So basically the production said, hey, we need to be able to destroy this asteroid in 1 million pieces, but we want to be able to control which way everything goes.
Okay.
Because an animator needs to be able to have all that fine control. And when in ILM, when in visual effects, you want to be able to do it so that it's visually accurate, but not necessarily physically accurate. It has to be physically accurate enough. Well, our company's been up and running for about 6 months. It's an independent game company, and we have like 2 games that we're working on at the same time. We have a casual game called Our Superhero that's coming out hopefully within the month. We create a superhero together, and it's a very simple concept, but it's a lot of fun to play with your friends. Wow! As Hiro would say, Yatta! I would like to thank the Asian Hall of Fame for this honor. My career as an actor and producer has given me many opportunities to fight for Asian representation on screen and in entertainment, and for that, I am eternally grateful. I'm so thankful for this award because it indicates to me that my efforts and passions to break down barriers have not gone unnoticed. Being Japanese, I grew up with a treasure trove of amazing worlds, stories, and characters, and it is truly my pleasure and honor to be able to continue to share these amazing talent and stories that accurately reflect my culture to the American and global audience. Let us all celebrate our uniqueness. Thank you again to Karen Wong and the Board of Governors for this great honor. Good night.
Welcome back. Congressmember Judy Chu made history as the first Chinese-American woman elected to the U.S. Congress. She started her career in elected office after an anti-immigrant movement occurred in the town she was living in, Monterey Park, right here in Southern California. A vocal group of longtime residents resented the new immigrants moving in and wanted English-only signs in the city and English-only books in the library and they successfully passed through the City Council an English-only resolution so that only English could be spoken in the predominantly Asian American city. Judy Chu ran for mayor and served 3 terms before she was elected to the California State Assembly. In 2009, she was sworn in as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Today, she serves on the powerful Ways and Means Committee. Please welcome the Asian Hall of Fame Lifetime Achievement Award inductee, Congressmember Judy Chu.
I am Congresswoman Judy Chu from California. Many years ago, my grandfather came to this country with nothing more than a willingness to work hard. 2 generations later, his granddaughter became the first Chinese American woman elected to Congress in history.
And today, the House should also issue its expression of regret. It is for my grandfather and for all Chinese Americans who were for 6 decades by the U.S. government that the land of the free wasn't open to them that we must pass this resolution.
In Congress, it is my mission to protect your work. That is why I started the Creative Rights Caucus, to ensure
my nephew was a victim of hazing and it killed him. Because this bill takes the most significant steps to protect service members from hazing ever.
But when 49 people were murdered in Orlando and nothing done about it, and the only response were moments of silence, well, so many of us said, enough is enough.
In Congress, I've decided to take up the cause of mental health treatment and health treatment.
And in Los Angeles, we had a 16-year-old boy who was sent to the hospital by bullies who were accusing him of having coronavirus. The Chinese virus, every time he says that, it just fans the flames of xenophobia. I believe that if we continue on the way that we are, with our involvement, with our advocacy, we can have the first Chinese American president by 2050.
Hello, and thank you so much for this incredible honor. It means so much to be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Asian Hall of Fame. You see, when I was younger, I never even imagined I would run for office. That's because I never saw anybody who looked like me. But that began to change in college after somebody handed me a flyer for what was then an experimental class in Asian American Studies. What I learned made a light go off in my head. I learned about discriminatory actions taken by our federal government, like the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 and the imprisonment of innocent Japanese Americans during World War II. I learned how these actions could affect whole generations of people psychologically, causing post-traumatic stress, feelings of marginalization, and low self-esteem. I came to understand why my parents were so silent about the past, even though it affected them so deeply. I took many more classes like this and got involved with civil rights issues on campus, but I didn't stop there. You see, years later, an ugly anti-immigrant English-only movement occurred in the town I was living in, Monterey Park. A vocal group of longtime residents resented the new immigrants moving in and wanted English only for the signs in the city and only English books in the library. The last straw was when they got a resolution in the city council saying that only English should be spoken in the city. Well, when the English-only resolution passed, people said, enough is enough. I joined a multi-ethnic coalition to fight the resolution and helped lead an effort to get thousands of signatures on petitions to overturn it. And finally, we succeeded. But it became so apparent that the city council did not represent the city that I ran for city council and won. I served there for 13 years, working to bring people together and serving as mayor 3 times. From there, I ran for the California Assembly and won, and then was elected to the California State Board of Equalization. And then one day, President Obama made a lightning bolt of an announcement. He announced his selection of Hilda Solis to be his choice for Secretary of Labor. It opened up the congressional seat in my district, and I decided to run. It was an extremely tough primary. There were naysayers that said that someone like me, an Asian American woman, could not win the seat. But I persisted. On July 14, 2009, I won. But the day after, something even more amazing happened. President Obama called me from the White House to congratulate me on becoming the first Chinese American woman elected to Congress in history. My story is just one of many stories of Asian Americans overcoming challenges and breaking barriers. And that is why I'm so grateful for all that you are doing to celebrate and share more of these accomplishments. Thanks to the Asian Hall of Fame, younger generations will be able to follow even more examples of Asian American leadership in everything from government to the arts to business. I'm proud to accept this Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of all Asian Americans fighting to make our voices heard.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Frank Buckley with KTLA 5. It has been a pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies at this historic Asian Hall of Fame opening night ceremony. Thank you and good night.